Hi, it's Myrna. Thanks for joining me in my studio. I thought we'd start with what I'm wearing since I'm about to go work at the island. I have her picture of what she's normally like. As soon as I turn the camera on, she has this great fear of missing out. And as I continue, she does calm down. This is not my always life. These are the Burda 7400 pants that I made about a month ago. And this is my regular t-shirt pattern that I changed the neckline and the hemline and a whole bunch of other things, but basically my t-shirts are made like this. The new camera came. This is it. It's a Canon V10. It has the flip-up screen I wanted. It has a built-in stand. And it's basically a point-and-shoot model, which I'm totally thrilled about. Obviously, I'm not using it. I need to read the manual that was actually provided, as well as rewatch a couple of videos to make sure I'm using it correctly. One more thing to show you, and then onto the pants. And maybe in this segment, I'll have a full head. I like having a full head. My doctor is retiring. I was so lucky to actually get a doctor when I moved here 10 years ago. But I got the letter that says I'm being transitioned to a new doctor. Last time I saw her, she said that she had just gotten a sewing machine for her birthday present, and she thought that sewing would be in her future. I have my first appointment with Andy at the end of this week, which means I won't see Julianne again. And so I wanted to take her a thank you present. And that's the lovely thing about making things. You can make a personalized gift. I had wanted to give her a lot of clover tools, but the local store here didn't have very many, and they didn't have the ones I wanted. So I ended up getting the World's Best Seam Ripper. This is a bag that was originally a tote bag, and I refashioned it into this bag, and then I also made a little zip bag to go with it. My thought was that these can go in the little zip bag. This is variegated thread. And those can go in the bag, which has one slip pocket and one zip pocket. And then the local store had this wonderful triangle pouch as a kit. I need to read the back to find out about batting. I can see something here. 4x14 batting or something. Batting or soft and stable, so a purse foam. And then they had this book called School of Sewing that is just a basic beginner type book. I don't own this book, but it's a very beautiful book, and it's spiral bound, so it lies nice and flat. So those will be my thank you gift. Not that I want to lose her, but I'm really glad that she is retiring in time to enjoy a lot of other things. And I'm really hoping I get along just as well with Andy, who is a nurse practitioner. And now we're finally on to the trio pants. Here they are finished. I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about how I reapproach a pattern. I always find it really interesting to learn about other people's process to see if there's something there for me. The first thing I did was pull out the pattern pieces and look at the size of them to see if they would be at all relevant. These ones I have already pre-measured the hip width, and I added up the numbers, and it was a lot more than I needed. Usually there is a note in there from the last time I sewed this and a sampler. This is the new sampler. Apparently I made it in August of 23 out of black denim. I don't remember those pants. I don't have them any longer. If I had loved them, I would still have them. So something didn't go right. It says that I sewed 5/8 inch seams and okay, so hold on. On the inseam I sewed 5/8. On the other seams I sewed 4/8. I used bias on the hem to make it longer. I tapered the waistband, and that's it. Okay. What I knew was that this time I would need to make them smaller. So I sewed 7/8 inch seams, which took them in a nice bit. I also wrote on the side piece, narrowed side panels significantly in March of 2023. I don't remember sewing them then either. And what does significantly mean? I need to treat my notes like I'm writing a policy and procedure manual. So it is that much to the outer lines. I have never done the tucks in it before, or tucks here. I decided that I would try those and just see what I think. I won't do them again. On this particular pair, I had the idea of separating the side panel and creating a top, creating a bottom and a top, and putting a zipper in there. When I got to the zipper stage, I didn't have the right color, and it was late, and so I opted to not bother. I'm really glad I did, because it's only that wide. With my sample, I start by testing my serger on the fabric to see if the stitches will be neat and tight. I had turquoise thread in my serger already, and that goes with the shirt fabric. I then stitch the seam and press it to see if it's strong enough. Is it going to break? Does it lie flat? Does it press well? What do I need to know to press all these seams? And then I test different top stitch colors. In this particular case, I knew I wanted turquoise, but I don't like a solid turquoise. I find that harsh. I'm not into high contrast. This is the turquoise I use. It is a King Tut thread in a variegated turquoise. I love this thread. I love the brand and I love the colors. That's what I use for the top stitching. On the hem, there's a 1 1/2 inch hem on the pattern. I tried pressing up the 1 1/2, and then later, after I had the elastic and everything in, I decided that was a bit too short. So I pressed up 3/4 instead and split the difference. And hopefully I'll like that. With the waist, I love to top stitch the waist, and then I fold down the other side and stitch in the ditch to create the casing, and then put the elastic in. I ended up lowering this waistband another inch. You can see on these ones that if I have the waistband at my inch, that there's actually quite a bit of extra fabric here, because the top of the waistband needs to be at my very thin string line, not the bottom. If I pull this up snug, then really the top of the waistband needs to be there. As I was trying these on before putting the elastic in, or before sewing the waistband on, I realized I needed to lower it an inch. The front and back are sewn together. I can tell that with the 5/8 inch seam allowance here, the waistband is going to be at the correct spot. This leg already has the hem folded up, and that looks like it will be okay. They're not for you. On the pattern, there's no elastic through here, and there is all the way around. I don't know if that's worth it, because I will always wear something over top. At this point, I am debating, do I need more or less crotch depth, and it seems fine. So I will finish this seam and then put the waistband on, and then reassess again. before I stitch the hems up. I popped in the fitting video, and you can see that I thought the waistband was going to be fine. I thought the hem was going to be fine. There are some things that you just can't tell until you actually have the elastic in, or you actually have everything done but the hem. I think it's important to be prepared to take that slow and go back and forth and try this and try that to get the best results. What else did I want to tell you? I'm quite happy with how these turned out. I will pop in some pictures of me wearing them. When I make them again, I'm going to try the wider pattern again, probably a lighter summer fabric, but generally speaking, I love this pattern. I've made it numerous times. It fits really well. I've been chopping bits and pieces together to make the complete video, so hopefully this is where the ending should happen, because I think I'm done. Thank you so much for watching this video. Next week I will be working on this Simplicity 9469 top in this polyester rayon blend that I think I should look really good in. It's a paisley. I love paisley. So thanks for being here. See you later.